Welcome to the first real podcast episode.
Yeah,
You know,
episode one.
episode one. The
hmm
first one was like a trial run, right?
Yep,
Like
yep.
I think I don't know if a lot of people know this, but it was supposed to be a trial for me and Nikhil to see where we are at. See how it goes, just having a conversation. But the thing is, that wasn't the case because I mean, you and me both know we can talk. We can talk to a
Yeah.
wall. That's
No,
that's that's you and me. You know.
for sure.
So
Yeah.
originally when we talked about it, it was not supposed to be like we're going to release it, but we liked it enough where we're just like, okay, let's go ahead and release it.
hmm
And for the people that did like, you probably got a lot of this too, but I was getting sent a whole lot of the TikToks and the Instagrams going like, oh, like you're doing a podcast, what the heck? Because I remember I told you like I didn't tell too many people about this. So
Yep, yep.
people were just like, you were hiding this from me or something, man? Like what's going on? I'm just like, dude, no, it's not like that. I promise you. Um, but I mean, we got some good engagement, I think, from what we are, mostly just our
Some
friends.
really good engagement, and not just from friends, by the way. So
Yeah.
okay, the people that like we know personally that saw it really liked it. And
Okay.
they seem very very excited about it as well. I got like texts from like my cousins who I haven't really talked to, and it's been like a couple of weeks, but like she texted me and she was like, "You're starting a podcast? That's so cool!" And I'm like, "How are you doing?" Like
Yeah, that's
let's start
crazy.
with that. um, no, but like engagement wise, from again, the people that we know is really, really good. But
Yeah.
also, and I'm gonna check the stats. It's kind of doing really well, especially for a new account. Um, let's see. The TikTok, I think, is sitting at 1,600 views, which is
Okay.
really good for
Okay.
a new account with like no followers.
True, true. Okay.
And then the Instagram had a good amount of engagement as well. 1,032, right? Again,
Okay.
completely new account. Which these are like, for me, these are really, really good numbers. And again, it's not about the views or anything like that. It's
Yeah.
not that deep. But the
I mean,
fact
yeah.
that people, the fact that it's getting circulation, the fact that people like actually are enjoying it, it seems from the metrics, there's a lot to look forward to here.
Do,
Is
do you think some of it is because of is because of that Nyquilus like influence? You know what I'm saying? Do you think some of it's
uh
because of that?
probably. And just
Yeah.
because like I reposted it on both like my accounts and stuff. So it definitely did get a good amount of circulation from that, at least from people, the people that like don't follow us individually, right?
Yeah.
That's definitely where like the rest of that came from. Not to like
Uh-huh.
be cocky or anything, but it definitely is. It definitely is. But I mean, hey, leverage it. Why not, right?
Why not?
So
I mean, I get that. And then for the people that did watch it and then gave me their critiques and feedback, thank you guys because, God knows I needed that. Because I mean, this, like I feel like you're a pro at this when it comes to like doing this sort of thing, like having this sort of audience or just what the sort of like realm of like stuff to do, right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Pro is subjective, but sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. But no, that I'm saying like they were saying about how I was stuttering a lot. I'm just like that. That's
yeah.
that's for sure. Because I think one thing that Sahil said was, I think you would think really fast and you're trying to get all your thoughts out at once. I'm just like, you
hmm
know what? I definitely feel that sometimes. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to slow it down for sure. And then just making sure I'm not stuttering on my words like how I did just now. But that
Oh,
that
okay.
that's
See,
besides the
like
point.
some that's just how you talk though, okay? And like that's
That's
not
true.
it's not even a problem. It's not you don't have like
Yeah.
a stuttering problem. There are people who have like a worse like actual stuttering problem, you know.
No, true. Yeah.
This is yeah, you're right. You're right. You just got a lot on your mind. You're just trying to get there's like it's all coming
Yeah.
out. Oh shoot. It's like all coming out at the same time,
Yeah.
right? That's a
And
skill.
you know what it was, I think too? I think a lot of it was the excitement from just the first day podcast sort of thing, you
Oh,
know?
definitely, definitely, for
So
sure. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And I realized, I we didn't really talk about what we wanted this podcast to really be about. We only kind of briefly went over it.
hmm
But I guess to give the people like a better idea of what we want to do, and then you can fill in the gaps too, where we're just having conversations, right? The way we wanted to do this was, look, we both love having conversation, but why does might as well make a podcast out of it? And then from there, we can, see any sort of hypothetical questions we ever talk about, just like as we go with the flow. And then from there, just and you're like catching up from the week, and then just random stuff. But then most of the time, a lot of the time, we're gonna have guests on. So I think starting next podcast, we're gonna have some guests on.
hmm
Just one guest actually. We're gonna have more as we go on, but you know, and then you can fill in any gaps I might have left out.
No, that's for the most part, that's what it is. I think there's not really like a core agenda to these sort of things. And that's the beauty of it in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I think the fact that we can like you said, we just be talking, right? In general.
Yeah. Exactly.
And this podcast is almost in a lot of ways just like an outlet for those conversations. And
Mhm.
the fact that, like you mentioned, we can do it with the other people starting next week onwards, and next week is probably the most, like, that's the one we've been looking forward to since we
Yeah.
like this concept was thought of.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's yeah, as far as the format as this podcast is concerned, that's there's not really one, and it's a lot more just like, what are we just talk about shit, you know. And
Yeah.
a lot of the times I feel like people want to watch that, you know.
Yeah.
So
That's how most of these like podcasts are done nowadays. That's why people want to start podcasts too.
mhm.
Like Chucks and Phil, right? Is that what you're talking about? Chucks, is that what's it?
Chunk, his name Chunks with the N.
Chunks. Oh yeah, dude.
They got some weird names, bro,
They're
out
just
the
having
UK,
like
man.
conversations. Yeah, exactly. And then like I guess they talk about their specialty where it'd be like in the streaming space. The speaking about streaming, I want to talk to something. I was having this idea,
Mm.
like, dude, would there ever be a case where we would ever do like a live stream sort of podcast? And like,
Oof.
why would we ever do that? You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah.
And it's like it would be like cool just like to see how that works. And then like, I mean, to be fair, like everything that we would be editing, or I guess you would be editing out of these is almost always raw footage. In fact, all the time it is raw footage. So I don't know what the benefit really would be, but it's like, is there any benefit to having like real time podcasts with things? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, number one, you just have like real time interaction. Hopefully, oh, number one, hopefully people watch. That's the biggest thing.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Right. But the benefit of a live stream, I feel like when people watch it live is the interaction. You go on like Twitch, you go on like whatever the other one, Kick or whatever it is,
I don't
um,
know.
something like
Yeah.
that. Anyway, Twitch is the big one, right? And so like a lot of the time, like I watch some of these live streams. You see like Kaisenet or whatever, they play like games and they
Yeah.
just do random shit, but the chat is always like rolling. It's like over here in the side, and it's always
Yeah.
rolling. And
Yeah.
people are like W in chat, whatever. Chat, is
Yeah.
this real? Like,
Yeah. They're always referencing the chat, dude. I'm always,
exactly. So I mean, it would be like that where we would be talking about something, and you would see like the live reaction from the like the audience or everything.
Mhm.
Now the thing is, you need a big audience for that, right?
That's
And
true.
realistically, we wouldn't like if we were to live stream like now, we'd get like two people, three people maybe
That's
that
true.
like
It's almost like
watch this.
Instagram like live, you know,
Exactly.
there's not too much traction with that anyway.
Exactly. And not even from a viewership standpoint either. It's like we do want the interaction. We want like
True.
you want a lot of like interaction as far as a chat, as far as like an audience, right?
Yeah.
Within if we're gonna do it, right, the more responses you get, the more you have to work with.
Hmm.
So a live stream would be something like way, way later on down the line when
Way later
we're
on.
like
Yeah.
rich and famous and successful, and this is
Yeah.
like our
When this
jobs.
podcast,
Yeah.
yeah, we don't need that all. It's exactly that. Dude,
Exactly. Yeah.
what's it called? They also have like I remember I only watched these clips of Kai Cenat and like Speed or whoever they stream, right? They're like they're not even sitting down. They're just like
No.
they're going all over the place. And like I thought the streaming thing was more of a gaming thing where people are gaming and they're like live streaming that and they're always referencing the chat or whatever. But like they're doing the most over there. Like
It's a
I
new
don't know the
thing.
concept of
It's
what
a
they even
completely
do,
new thing.
right?
As far as like going out and about and streaming. Because you're
Yeah.
right. I mean, like I also just watch the clips. I don't really watch Twitch like that often.
Mhm.
Um, but it's always been like in that, like I want to say like within the last like 2, 3 years, it's shifted from like just people sitting in like in their studio space playing video games and like people are just
Mhm.
watching someone play the video game live to
Yeah.
like there was like Speed was in like fucking Europe recently or something, bro. He was just touring Europe and he was just live streaming the whole thing. And it's him like walking in the streets of like he was in like Poland or something, some random ass place,
Yeah.
right? And he was just like recording himself walking through, and he has like five bodyguards around him, and like people are like swarming him throughout the streets and everything. And it's like
That's so
it's
funny.
nuts, dude. It's crazy. So like the streaming space has changed considerably, especially to
Yeah.
people like us who don't really like watch it like often or like that.
Yeah.
We're not as invested into it. You look at the
Yeah.
difference between like now and maybe 3 years ago. It's two
Hmm.
different like platforms. It's crazy, and
Yeah.
it's people like Kai, like Speed, for example, who are like changing it to that direction. You
Yeah.
know, because no one was doing that before, right?
I
So,
I've never heard of it before, and I'm pretty sure that's why it's blowing up like
because
now. I mean, it's
it's
been
so
blowing up for like
different.
the past few years now, but
Hmm.
they're super big. Like those
Yeah.
people are like super big.
Hmm.
And like, we're talking on a couch, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about the setup earlier than this. I don't know if whoever's watching, like I guess for you, like I changed the setup a little bit, you know, got I guess the plant more
Hmm.
visually, you know. I don't know if you guys can see in the back, but there's a use your head. sort of
which
like
is so
sing.
sick, by the way. Like, I don't know. Wait, where'd you
It's
get
actually
that?
my brother's. My
Oh,
brother's, he got gifted that a while ago. So again,
yeah.
like I live with my brother. We'll have him on the pod at some point, but he got gifted that. So I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna just use that. So yeah.
That's so cool, dude.
And then the speaker that Anane gave me.
Yeah. Hey, shout out on it.
Shout out Anane.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like it. I like it. I mean,
It's
your setup,
legendary.
I think like the background specifically, like the view
Uh-huh.
was it's always been good. So I
That's
like
actually
this. It
like
looks a little bit more like, fleshed out now, which is good.
Flash. I
Yeah.
see you changed it up. We're
Yeah,
talking about it last
I
time.
needed to. Mine was garbage, like before. Mine was like you literally you were staring at the ceiling for like half of it, and it was just it was just like my Mac
Yeah.
webcam.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but we switched it up. Right. So hold on. Right here is speakers, and I talked about this in the last pod as well. Speakers, the turntable, got
Mhm.
all my vinyls right here. Some like real
Yeah.
classics, you know what I'm saying? J. Cole, that Dawn album, Utopia,
Mhm.
Call Me If You Get Lost, some good ones.
Call me if you get lost. Yeah. But see, you can't be saying J. Cole anymore because I know some people that are flaming J. Cole ever since the whole apology thing. And like, I'm not gonna lie, like J. Cole is the type kind of rapper that goes like, yo, like if you wanna ever come at me, like come at me, see what happens. And then
Mm-hmm.
someone came at him and he apologized. So like, like what are we really doing here, man? Like,
You got a point. I didn't even think of it like
he's
that.
he says all that stuff too. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think it was False Prophets where he was really going at it. And like, don't get me wrong, guys, I'm like a big J. Cole fan. Like, don't get me
No,
wrong.
me
I
too.
get clowned on it.
Dude, I have his high school basketball jersey. It's like hanging over there somewhere.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I
So,
remember that back in
mhm.
college when I
Dude,
used
no,
to
but
see that.
he's got like I don't know what his deal is now.
He's
Great rapper. I don't
great
think
rapper.
no one's disputing that. But like,
Yeah.
you know what it was for me? It wasn't even like him leaving the beef or anything, because because it was pretty funny, bro. He left and then it all went like, dude, and then Drake got like slaughtered and everything. There
Yeah.
was a lot of memes on Twitter, like where it's like Jermaine Cole right now, and it's just some guy
Yeah.
like frolicking in a field with like sunflowers and everything.
He's
He
want to
like,
stay out of it.
dude, he avoided it. I can't like low key. I can't even blame him for that one,
Like
right?
I get it, like protect your peace and everything. I get that. But
Mm-hmm.
then I don't know. I remember being there live when that whole apology thing happened because me and a few friends were at Dreamville, and then
Yeah.
that's when he
Oh,
apologized.
you wait, you were there?
Yeah, I was there at Dreamville when that happened, and like we were just about it. Like, okay, look,
Whoa.
respect to J. Cole and everything, man, but I'm trying to hear this man perform. But I think every song that he just brought out a bunch of people going like, "Yo, Benny, like Benny the Butcher, like, who's that one dude from UK, super big,
Central
um,
C.
Central C." Yeah, I knew
Mm-hmm.
that, I knew
Mm-hmm.
that. But he like brought Central C out, and then
Uh,
like it was none of his own songs. He just kept having these other people come on, and then he would just sing his featured part or
mm-hmm.
rap his featured part. And then like maybe like three or four songs he maybe sang or rapped over that was just his, you know? But then like right before he ended it is when he did the whole apology. And because like he wasn't rapping his own stuff, me and my friends are just like, this is like lame. Like I want to hear J. Cole. I'm not trying to hear all these features. So we were just leaving. And right as we were leaving, he started apologizing to Kendrick. And it's just like, look, like I don't want no beef with Kendrick either. Like that's one dude you cannot have beef with because
Oh,
of how big
clearly.
he is,
We saw
like
it,
GOAT
bro. Like,
status.
yeah.
Like so
No.
I can respect that, but at the same time, man, you can't be go. You got to pick one side. You got to pick one side, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know?
You know what it was? For me, it wasn't even the apology because the apology is fine. Like it, do whatever you
Okay.
want to do.
Yeah.
Dude, the song, well, what's it called? Grippy? Dude,
Oh my God,
that was it.
that
For
was
me,
really
that was
bad.
it.
That
And
was really
like,
bad.
you know what's funny? It came out, right? And I remember this so vividly. It came out and I didn't listen to it because like I it just didn't, I didn't even know it was coming out.
Yeah.
And so I was hanging out with a couple of my friends. Actually, the friends I just hung out with in Austin, which we'll get to that story. But that
Oh
happened
yeah,
this
I need to
weekend.
hear about that. Yeah.
Um, anyway, uh, they were like, "Yo," because they know I'm like the J Cole fan of the group. Okay,
Dude,
so
I'm
they
also a J. Cole fan of the group, bro.
and so they were like, they come up to me and they was like, "Yo, Nikhil is grippy, right?" I'm like, what the
Chill.
fuck? Like, what did you just say to me? I was like, oh no, you heard that new J Cole? And I'm like, no. And it's like, it's
Oh my
grippy, and I'm
God.
like, bro.
Oh my
And then I
God.
listened to it, and I was like, bro, what are we doing, dude? Like, that's not the J Cole that we know,
Like,
man.
that's not a good look, dude.
Like, what are we?
It was the first thing he released since the apology, and it was just like, dude, this is bad. Bad.
That's the first thing.
One of my friends, I used to get so mad at him for this, but one of my friends, he calls me JDR, J. Cole Dick Rider. And just like, bro, I'm not like I'm like one of his only J. Cole like fans, like his friends that are like fans of J. Cole. I'm not even like trying to be all that. I'm not gonna lie. But like, dude, like he would not let it go because we went to Dreamville together.
Hmm.
And then he goes like, I'm not a big fan of J. Cole. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just like, you know what? I'm that's cool. Like I am, but like, you do you. And then he was just, you know the whole thing about like Drake being corny. Like, oh, Drake the type of person to do this. Drake the type of person to do that. He
Hmm.
feels that with J. Cole. Because nowadays you can see J. Cole kind of getting corny,
Yeah.
especially off his last album, dude.
Hmm.
That was
Oh
pretty
yeah.
corny,
Oh
dude.
yeah, 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 definitely.
That was pretty corny,
That was pretty corny.
dude. Yeah, but dude, no, how was you went to Austin this past weekend
I
for
did.
a fantasy football draft, right?
Yes, sir.
I guess more than that.
Okay.
But like,
It
your
wasn't
friend.
just that. Yeah, it
Yeah, yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah.
So I have one of my close friends. Name is Jay. Shout out Jay.
Oh,
He lives in Austin. Works for SpaceX right now.
that's crazy.
Dude is he using his head, huh? So
Huh.
no. So he moved out there to Austin like within the last couple of months here. Um, and we were having our fantasy football draft this weekend. So we were like, yo, it's Labor Day weekend. Let's just fly to fucking Austin and do it there. So we did, right? All
Yeah,
like seven, eight of us. So we all flew out. And then I got there, and one of our friends, his name is Jackson. He actually is moving out to Austin as well, right? And we were like, oh shoot, like that's great. So like you're gonna link up with Jay or whatever, and he's like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna live with him. We're like, what? Huh?
oh, what?
So Jay, number one, Austin housing, like housing prices in Austin or in Texas in general are like dirt cheap, dude. It's crazy.
I've heard, right? Like it's a Texas sort of real estate, right? That's
Yeah,
super
yeah, yeah.
cheap.
And so he has like a full like a new building, like 2023, 2024 built. Uh Two bedroom, two bathroom apartment, which is fucking beautiful, dude. And it was so nice. But and he's paying like I don't know, like 1.8, 1.7 for it,
And it's
which
like
is
massive.
ridiculous.
It's like a
Yeah.
house, right?
It's not it's an apartment. It's just a
It's an
regular
apartment.
apartment.
It's an apartment. Okay.
But still, like 1.7 for a two bed, two bath, that's fully like new appliances, new
Yeah.
everything
Yeah. That's
is
nice.
insane. I'm paying 1.3 for this right now, you know?
Yeah. I'm
And
paying
like
around like
I have a hole in my wall, you know? So like this is it's
that's funny.
like what are we doing?
No, I
No,
mean I
so
personally do like my place, but I'm paying around that much, and I'm like there's no way I'm getting that much as much as Jay is, considering like he's living in Texas and
hmm.
Austin, that too, like good part of Texas too.
Exactly,
But
yeah.
so like yeah, how did your draft end up going?
Draft was chill.
Yeah.
I should have done more prep, I'll
What
be
pick did you
honest.
have? What pick did you have?
I had fifth pick.
Okay, that's
So
a good pick. Out of
which
12
is
people or eight
at
people?
10 people.
10 people. That's
Yeah.
yeah, solid.
That's really
Yeah.
good. So like I'm right in the middle, and then at the
Mhm.
turn, like I don't have to wait like a long time because we did the snake draft.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So team's okay. You know what?
Yeah,
I
let
can
me
show
know
you
your
my
team.
team.
I had a fantasy draft last night too
Yeah.
with the Sal, Aniket, and then just a few other friends over
Hmm.
there too. I had seventh pick, and
Who'd
Jamar
you?
Chase ended up falling to me at seven.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Same for us.
I was so boggled. I'm just like, there's no way. Like,
But
I'm
you know
gonna just
why,
pick him
right?
up.
You know why he's fallen?
Why'd he fall?
So he's like holding out for contract or something like that right now. So
Oh,
he wants to get paid more, and so he's just been
mhm.
holding out of like training camp and everything. I mean, he's
Because I
still
saw
at
the
camp,
report.
but
He was at practice though, like
yeah,
for
yeah.
training camp
So
and
he's
stuff.
at it's called a hold in now is the new thing.
Oh, I did
So
not
he's
know
going to
this.
practice, but he hasn't played in any of like the preseason games, I don't think. And if he
Okay,
keeps holding out, he's not going to play like in the first couple of weeks of the season.
that's not good.
And it's a weird case because usually you see holdouts in the last year of somebody's contract, but he has
Hmm.
2 years left in his contract. But he's so good that he wants the money is what he's doing.
That's kind of interesting. I never like,
Yeah.
is this, it's probably like a new thing like in the NFL because I know they're changing up a bunch of rules like every year with the
Hmm.
NFL. Honestly, for any sports league,
And like the market
but
is cooked mainly. I think Justin Jefferson on the Vikings got like a really big contract recently,
mhm.
and Jamar feels like he deserves it, which honestly he does. He's that
He
good.
does. Yeah, good
So
player.
he's like, I want my money now, you know?
That's fair, but also like he has 2 years left. I'm surprised that
Exactly.
he's doing all this with 2 years left on his
Hmm.
contract.
Which
But
I've
yeah,
never seen before. So
yeah.
anyway,
Who's your first pick?
uh, I got Bijan Robinson at the five,
Okay, solid
which is
pick.
I was really happy about that.
Yeah.
Because I was originally like I was in all the mock drafts and everything that I was doing, I was taking Jamar at the five, but with all this contract shit, like I didn't know.
Hmm.
But Bijan is like we're expecting Bijan Robinson to be like the workhorse for Atlanta, which is great.
Hmm.
But the rest of my
Also,
draft
but
was kind of ass.
they got Kirk right now. They
They
got
do have,
Kirk.
yeah, they got Kirk now.
Yeah, so they got a good QB to like run that offense.
Hmm.
So
Exactly. So they're not going to be.
we'll see Bijan doing some better things. You know, I
For sure.
got I think one of my last picks was like Daryl Mooney, and like he's like I read some sort of report like he's might be going to like be wide receiver two for the Falcons. Well, I'm just like I did not know this, but then again, like again, I don't know if you know this, but I'm not a huge football person, but I watch much more college football, which also just happened this past weekend.
Which I really want to get into, by the way. Like
Uh-huh.
we were literally like, while we were at Austin, just doing whatever. We just had college football on because this was the first week, right? Right for
Yeah, this was first week one.
dude. It's so much fun. And I wish I got into it while I was actually in college. Like I don't know why I didn't,
Dude, it's
but
crazy. The reason I got into it was because we went to like a pretty big football school. I do that in air quotes because like we're not that
yo,
great.
fuck this
But
team, bro.
yeah,
Fuck this
honestly,
team.
did you see what happened to Tech?
Yeah, fuck this team, dude.
Dude,
Yeah, I
it was
know.
so sad.
That
And
is
like,
how do you lose to Vanderbilt, bro? First
yeah,
season's over. Our season's chalked now. You
it's
know,
bad. I mean, we're dark horses for the college football playoffs.
not anymore.
Not anymore. Not anymore, dude. Because I remember I texted my hometown friends going like, "Yo, Virginia Tech sucks again. I'm sorry." Because I hype it up every single season.
Mhm.
I'm just like, we're going to be so good. You know, we got this. Ollie Jennings finally back. You know, we returned 86% of our offense and defense, like total and everything, right? So I'm just like, we're going to be good this year, dude. We are going to be good.
Mhm.
Lo and behold, we lose to Vanderbilt. But that's
Bro.
also because our first half was so incredibly bad, like so bad.
Mhm.
I mean, you can't do nothing about that. But second half, like, I guess it gives us hope, quote unquote, hope for the season. But it's just Virginia Tech at the end of the day. They're gonna lead you on, and then they're going to make you feel terrible.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know,
What like it's so ass. And it's
it's so
like
bad.
we like you said, there was actual like hope coming into this year too. Like
Yeah.
I'm not delusional. So I didn't like the last like 4 years, like I was like, yeah, we're gonna be ass. Like I knew it, you
Uh-huh.
know.
I think
So I definitely just called you delusional.
no, you're a realist for
Yeah.
that. What's it called? But I think that every year for college football has not been amazing, but I think
Mhm.
if you want to start following, now is the time because now they're making it a 12 team structured college football
Yeah.
playoffs.
I heard about
So
that.
now
Yeah.
with that happening, like there's a lot more like just it's just going to become a lot better, you know, with that because a 14 college football player is determined by like some judging committee. That was stupid. But now you can actually get like 12 teams and like have an actual bracket sort of thing. And at the end of the day, like it's probably still going to be like a Georgia or Bama like and ending up winning the entire thing. But I mean, it's definitely better. It's
Mhm.
getting better. Also with NIL now, dude, like what's really going to happen with college football scene? I don't know. I don't know how much I enjoy that sort of thing, but like also I think the players do deserve to get paid just because they have such a big name and like they could like leverage that for making some money, you know?
No, definitely, definitely.
So I
I
mean,
mean, so I tell you,
um,
we were in Austin, right?
mhm.
And UT Austin. So Texas is like really good this year. We went
um,
to a tailgate for that game.
oh really?
Yeah, yeah. So they were playing.
That
I
must
think it
have
was
been
like,
crazy.
dude, it was nuts. Oh my gosh. And they are for real out there about their football, dude.
That's
Like
crazy.
everywhere we went, there was just like horns up or whatever, and
Horns
people would
up.
say like yeah, like people say hi and whatever,
Yeah.
and that so seeing a really big school and a big football school like that and seeing how they tailgated out there, a lot of country music, but like a lot of like
Mhm.
just orange everywhere you went. The stadium is
Yeah.
beautiful, dude. Oh my gosh.
You went to the stadium?
We went to the stadium. Let me show.
That's
I'm gonna show
crazy.
you some pictures here, bro. The stadium is it's insane.
Dude, I need to make my
Um.
trip out to Austin at some point too. I have
Mm-hmm,
a really good friend down there. He
mm-hmm.
was my big in PSC. PSC is the business frat that I was in when I was at Tech, but he's one of my really close friends from there. He moved out there for his job, and I've been meaning to like see him over there. But dude, I need to make that trip because I've heard only good things about Austin. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow. Okay.
Beautiful place,
Dude, that's a
dude.
big old like Longhorn right there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Man.
Beautiful
I
stadium.
was a camp because I know okay, it's a campus in the city, right? And we didn't
Yeah.
have that.
No.
So I've always like the closest thing I can see is like Maryland because I used to visit Oregon all the time when I was going to Maryland.
Hmm.
But like Austin is like UT Austin is in the heart of Austin, isn't it?
It is.
Right.
It
So
is.
how is that like how is that different than Tech?
We So okay, we didn't see campus as much as I wanted to. We saw a couple of buildings here and there, but
Uh-huh.
we did see the city a good amount. It's a big
Uh-huh.
city, you know, and you
It's
got
a
like
big city, right?
skyscrapers and like it's booming too is the thing. It's getting bigger.
Yeah.
It's completely different. And this kind of goes back to what I was talking about in the last pod with Madison. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah, Madison, yeah.
but it's a bigger field than here as well, you know? So
Mm.
I'd say like if you want tiers, right? VT as far as like integration with um the college campus into the town or into the city, it's like
Yeah.
VT is the college is the city, right? There is
Yeah.
nothing that goes on outside of
Nothing
tech
else.
really. You know, we
Yeah.
got one main street.
Yeah.
Um
That's pretty much it.
yeah, and then I'd say here Madison is like it's a bigger city, you know, outside of UW, but
Hmm.
UW still is pretty like it's predominantly what the city is, I would say, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
There's a lot of stuff going on outside of it, but
Yeah.
Madison is known for UW at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Um, and then oh shoot, someone texted me. Oh, never mind. Austin is like its own different whatever, and it's a
Mm.
weird case because the school is huge too, right?
Yeah.
The school is big enough to where like their sports programs and their football and everything that goes on with them is it's huge, and
Right.
the city itself is also like insanely big. You have
Yeah.
all these skyscrapers, all these businesses and everything. Like I said, the city's booming, so like a lot of companies are moving there as well.
Mm.
I said like my friend works at SpaceX, like that's a pretty new, I think, factory or something like that, right?
Yeah, I
Um,
think Texas is like starting to like I think these up and coming cities are starting to have more and more of these like bigger companies come in. So I mean, yeah, I've heard more people going to SpaceX in Austin and stuff. But it's crazy
mhm,
to hear that though, because you don't usually hear about a college being super big in the city. You know, the
mhm.
thing that we know about, like at least from going like being to Virginia, is VCU. It's in the heart of Richmond, right? But they're not a huge like big college pride sort of place. To be fair,
No,
they're also not like a D1 sort of, or I guess they are D1, but like they're not like a super big like sports school.
mhm.
But I guess Texas is because they're good at everything. You know, they got
Yeah.
basketball going on, they got football going on. But like, I would love to see like a school like that. You know,
Mhm.
because like or like just be there for a day. I mean, I love tech. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't try that for the world.
Yeah.
But like, just be there for a day, like see how it is. Because I mean, I think it's so interesting to like have this college pride, but at the same time have like the city of Austin right there at your disposal. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
So.
would and like that's kind of honestly that's kind of one of the things I wish I got from my college experience, and I've told people
Mhm.
this before too, where like tech was not nearly as like I wish I want oh shoot I wish I saw what it's like to be in a city college, you know,
Uh-huh.
because I feel like that there is like so much to do, so much to see, and even like whenever I visited Richmond, I would get this feeling too, where like I had friends at VCU and I used to go there all the time to
Right,
visit.
right, right.
And like it's not nearly as much as Austin, but still, it
Mhm.
definitely felt like you walked out of the house and like you had everything around you. Everything was
Yeah.
walkable. There was like a bunch of like really like nice, restaurants, little shops and shit. Richmond has a lot of character to it, right? So there was like all
Mhm.
these little itty bitty things going on around you at the same time that
Mhm.
tech didn't really have, right?
Yeah.
You go to like Main Street or something, and there's like a couple shops and here and there, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you're going to the same places, and
Mhm.
there's nothing new to explore. I think that's the best way to say that,
Yeah.
right? With these big places like Austin, like even Richmond to an extent.
Mhm.
Um, well, what's another place though? Even like Penn State, even though,
Fascinating.
yeah, Penn State is like I would classify Penn State as like a bigger VT, if that
Yeah, I
makes
would say the
sense.
same thing. That's
Yeah,
the exact same way I would like classify that
you
sort
know
of.
it's
Yeah.
but like State College is a bigger inherently place, even though it's like its own bubble just like Blacksburg. It's a
Yeah.
bigger bubble, so there's a lot
Yeah.
more shit going on.
Uh-huh.
But like to that point, like there was something new to do, there's something new to explore
Mhm.
at any given moment if you're in a city college, and I wish I had that. Like that would have been fun, you know.
I get that. But my thing was with these smaller like state colleges where the college is the exact like city, the town, the place itself is you're never gonna get that. And because these cities are always gonna be there for these jobs, for like like raising families who whatever. But like the concept of being in a college, like where the place itself is the college, the experience is the college itself. There's only one time to ever get that, and that is college. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we're always like New York is always going to be there. Like LA is always going to be there. Madison, Wisconsin, I guess also going to always be there. But it's different because it's capital. I'm gonna bring that up every podcast. It's the capital of Wisconsin.
It
But
don't mean shit, bro. It doesn't mean anything. There's just one distinct building, bro. That's it. That's all it
yeah, I love that building. You know, it reminds you of home, don't it?
is.
Back
Sure.
in
All right.
DC.
Yeah. It actually does look exactly like it, dude. It's pretty
No,
funny.
every time I like search of Madison, Wisconsin, that's the
Hmm.
first thing I look at, dude. It's the first picture that pops up. I'm just
Yeah,
like, man,
that's all we have,
Nikhil
bro.
must feel
That's
right at home over there.
that's the only thing going on in this damn city, bro. We just got one really cool looking building, and the rest of it is just like,
You know, you need it from a new place. I was just thinking about this, right? Like, once you move to a new place, one of the first things you gotta lock down, a barber. You know, especially if you're a
oh
guy. Have
yeah.
you got a barber yet?
So one of my friends, actually my office mate,
Mhm.
he went to a barbershop, got his haircut, right? And he came back and
Mhm.
he looked fly as shit, bro. He, like
Okay.
they got him right. So I asked him, and I like at this point I was growing out my hair for like 4 or 5 months. It was long. It was like he was poofy. You could see it back here.
Well, I think like, did you used to have that hair back at Tech? I think I remember you having that kind of hair, right?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
It was that kind of hair, but like I kind of like mulleted a little bit. It wasn't like a
Mhm.
full blown mullet, but like I cut down the sides and left the back. This
Yeah,
was like everything, you know. It was like
yeah,
both. But anyway,
yeah.
I was like, I had enough of it. I looked like homeless walking into work every day. So I was like, yo, where'd you go? So I went there, and he low key got me right, dude. So like, yeah, I
So
think
you
I
got your
walk.
barber locked down.
Yeah, yeah. But like, I mean, for me though, is like I don't necessarily like need it often. It's not something like
Mhm.
I don't get my haircut really that often anyway. It's like every 3-ish months, so it's not a
Dude,
huge.
same.
But
Dude, because I used to get my haircut like every month. And
mm,
for me, well, also because my mom chose my haircut back in like when I was younger and stuff. So it was just the classic no hair on the top, you know, no hair anywhere. But it was stupid. But but now like my barber is Orion. So I mean, dude, I
oh,
tell yeah, I don't know if like so I my barber for like the past 5 years has been Orion because ever since COVID started, he's been cutting my hair. But then that's why I get it cut so like not that frequently because he's up in Maryland, I'm over at Tech. So we have to make time to see each other, whether I go up there or he goes down to Tech, or we just go back home for the holidays or whatever.
mhm,
So now that Orient's in PA school, right? I don't know how much time he's gonna have. So now I gotta find a barber over in DC.
mhm.
And I don't want to have to go through this trial and error phase, bro. Like I got one haircut in Blacksburg because I needed it for graduation. It was not it. I'm not gonna lie. Like I remember the first time I saw Akash, and he was the first person that saw my haircut. He goes like, they didn't like shape it at all. Like they didn't do nothing. All they did was like hair here, no hair here. They didn't like decide to blend my sides or anything, dude. It was a bad haircut. This is my grad photos, dude.
Oh
So it
shoot.
just like, dude, it was bad. It was bad sort of haircut. But then again, to be fair, like I think Arnav, he's the dude that took my photo. Shout out that guy because I
Mhm.
know you're really good friends with him.
Yeah, shout out.
And
Yeah. He
you
actually
know.
he was the one that was texting me just now. He just texted
Oh,
me.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude. He even with my haircut not being amazing, bro, like he got me right. I don't know how he did it. He's a,
Bro,
magician with the camera, you know?
he is for real. When it comes to camera work and stuff, he is for real.
Uh-huh.
Dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know what? He was one of the biggest resources when I was doing the short films and everything, as far as understanding camera
Really?
work and stuff like that. Like he was one of the first people I'd go to understand like lighting and like angles and like
Mm.
what the fuck aperture means, you know? Like
Yeah,
he
that's
was
crazy.
a really good resource for all that. But
So
no,
does
no.
he also do like cinematography and stuff like videography, or does he mostly just do camera stuff, like
He
photo stuff, photography?
he mostly does the photography.
Uh-huh.
But there's a lot of overlap, right? So where
Mm.
I mean you're using the same, you know, machinery and
Yeah, yeah.
it's all the same stuff. It's just I mean with videography you got to worry about like frame rate and you got to worry about like a lot of other different things that go into it, but
Mhm.
lighting and everything like that is fairly similar.
Yeah.
So he like that experience that he had lent itself very nicely to everything that I
Yeah.
was going to into. So
Mhm.
I say
No,
that I
so
don't even have a camera. Like I do everything with my phone.
yeah, I was gonna
And
say
so-
you do everything with your phone, right?
yeah, yeah.
But you have a specific app that you
I
or
do.
something,
Mhm.
right?
So app is called Final Cut Camera, which is it's
Okay.
actually a new app that just came out, or it came out recently, and it's made
Okay.
by the same people that make like Final Cut Pro, which is like one of the bigger editing programs.
Hmm.
And so
What's
uh,
so great about that versus like a regular, like the normal camera that I have on
I'll
my
show you.
phone?
I'll show you. So what essentially like this app, if you just on the home screen as well, you can see that there's a lot more stuff going on. So you have all of
Yeah,
these like
all those
uh
sort of things.
yeah, so like 4K video, 24 frames per second,
Hmm.
HDR, all of this stuff that you can't do on the normal camera app.
Yeah.
And like this, for example, is like you can change how zoomed in it is, and like you can use the wide angle You see the difference between like
I
those two. You
see.
can use the
Yeah,
wide angle for video, and that's not something that you can do
I get that.
nicely in the like original camera app. Either way, this gives me a lot more leverage because I want to record in 24 frames per second. I want to record 4K,
Mm.
but I also want to edit like lighting exposure, for example. Like if I want to do some stuff like that, you see that you can
Mhm.
almost see. I'm like
So
that's
you're
so
saying,
aggressively blue, but like still,
yeah,
you can see
yeah,
the difference.
I see the difference. So
Yeah,
does it like help you with the editing process, or
yeah,
like
yeah,
does it
yeah.
give you more to work with, or is it like you have to edit less because of it, or like what's the
You
thing with
edit
that?
less because of it, and for me,
Yeah,
it's a lot easier to get the shot right in the first go. Get whatever
yeah, yeah.
settings I want, whatever color, like however
Mhm.
focused I want it to be, whatever color grading that I have to do, instead of doing it in post production, which I still do, but it takes less time.
Mhm.
It's easier just to get it done, like record it like that, and then don't have to like worry about it nearly as much
Yeah,
later on.
yeah,
So
yeah. I feel like you gotta really. I mean, you said you are really into it, like being into this sort of thing. So like to know what this sort of thing is, you have to like really be into it, like knowing the apps, knowing like what to do, like how it gives you leverage, and then like the certain specs of it, like what certain terminology and like why these sort of things matter and stuff.
yeah, I mean, but that's also like I'm just super interested.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'd just be like on Reddit. I'd just be
yeah.
looking it up as much as possible. So
It's like your free time hobby.
yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I feel like I got to get something like that. Like I want to pick up a hobby now.
I
You know
mean,
what I'm
we
saying? I
got one
feel
right
like
here. This is the
this is
hobby right
one,
here.
right?
Yeah,
This is one.
yeah.
But at the same time, it's also like once a week. And also, you do most of the back end of the work, where the editing happens, where like adding the sounds and everything like that. Because I mean, you have more experience than I do. But I need to pick up more things. I'm not gonna lie. I was talking to my other friend group about this. Like, I want to get more into reading. Like,
Mm,
when people like try to read at least a few times. So you got books. I see that.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Do you read every night?
I don't touch those books, bro. Those have not moved. Those are
They're for show.
they're for
They're for the
sure.
podcast. You buy these just for the podcast. Let people know that you got books, but you don't have to tell them that you don't read, you know?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
we can cut that part out maybe, you know?
No, it's gonna get cut out. Don't worry. See, I do the editing, so I decide if it gets cut out.
For sure. Dude, but I heard like it's really good for you to like read a few minutes, like 10, 30 minutes before like you sleep
Hmm.
because instead of being on your phone, you could get a book, right? And
Oh
then
yeah,
you
yeah,
get some
yeah.
knowledge from that. And also like it's not the blue light sort of thing with your phone, like it's not gonna keep you up. Like it's more of a natural way to go to sleep if you want to like do something productive or just like if you can't fall asleep, right, then you can read a book and then you might like start getting sleepier in that way. Or I don't even know how it works, but that's one hobby I really want to pick up like a lot more. Like I need to start reading like more consistently.
Mm.
Um, I feel like I read like articles every now and then, but I want to get a book, And I feel like from a lot of conversations I have with people because they know I'm like very into the like trying to be better about yourself, like trying to like be like a better human, trying to like
Hmm.
become a better person, all those sort of things. I feel like a lot of people are also into those sort of things too. But they recommend me books that
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that will help me become the best version of myself. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So
I have a
I need
lot
to
of
get
those.
to
Actually, a
reading.
lot of those books right there are those type of books. I don't know if you can see it. That one right there is Atomic Habits, and that's a really popular one.
I've seen that
Yeah.
all the time actually. That
Hmm.
specific Atomic Habits book. I'm actually
It's
my mom might have that. I might have to steal that from her.
I'd say
But
if you want a recommendation, that's a good one.
that's a good
Because
one.
like it's really like it goes like almost like very very surface level as far as or not surface level. It goes very very deep as far as like
I see.
individual things you can change about just like routines and daily things.
Hmm.
I think one of the biggest ones I talked about was like framing your mind to sort of like nobody wants to go to work, right? Nobody wants to go to work and do like all
Hmm.
this tasks, like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, oh, I have to
Hmm.
do this, whatever. One of the things I talked about was like sort of framing your mind and saying that I get to do this instead of saying I
Hmm.
have to do this, saying I get to do this, right?
Hmm.
So like I get to give this presentation. I get to make this
Hmm.
agenda, everything like that.
Yeah.
And so you are almost it takes a lot of like a lot of time and a lot of skill, but you almost
Mhm.
trick your brain into looking forward to those events,
Yeah.
right? And inherently you want to do the things that you look forward to, right?
Hmm.
So that was one of the cool things that I read about. And I never implemented it, but like still, you know.
I think it's a good like way to look at things, like being appreciative
Hmm.
of the things that are in your life versus like, oh, like this is a struggle I have to go through. Like, let me just get this done and over with versus like I get the opportunity to pursue this or, you know, like portray a certain sort of thing or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So, I also heard that from, I guess, like different philosophical texts and all those sort of things too. Because I used to be on that kind of like side of like YouTube a while ago. You know what I'm saying? That's at YouTube. I say that because I'm not on social media. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
YouTube, LinkedIn. I said LinkedIn last time. Stay connected for real.
Oh, for real.
Um, but I'm gonna look into that book for sure.
Yeah, definitely too. Yeah.
Dude, you said you wanted to talk about what's it before we got on this podcast? You said you wanted to talk about what was it?
The
Is
comments.
the comments on the
The
Instagram, right?
comments. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got some people to shout out and or flame here. So let's so for the viewers. uh we recently posted a clip from our latest podcast, right, on our Instagram page at Use Your Head Podcast, shameless plug. Looking at the comments, and I have a couple of people to shout out here because there were some very supportive comments, but also some very like calling us old comments, and I just want to shout these people out. Number one, big man Matthew says Nikhil pushing damn near 30 now, and it got 3 likes. Um, so
Yeah, three people are they're already like writing your funeral, bro. Like
dude, I know, and
they're
it's
waiting
like,
for
and
you.
the uncomments are, I'm used to them. Don't worry, but like, come
Yeah,
on,
at this
guys.
point, dude, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Like,
So I wanna number one, Matthew, fuck you. And then I want to specifically call out the 3 people that like this. So Akash, fuck you. I can't wait for you to get on the pod, brother. Nihal, fuck you. Hey, how you doing, brother? I haven't talked to you in a while. Fuck you. And then Arul. Yeah, fuck you. You're short. There you go. Cool. So
yes,
moving on.
sir. I got that out of the way.
So
Man,
no, but there's a lot of support, and it's all mainly from like
for
the
sure.
team and everything. And
Yeah.
there's a couple funny ones in here too. Um, Vihan Vihan commented a crutch and the wheelchair emoji.
Oh my God. That's so crazy,
That's
bro.
so crazy.
That's so crazy.
And then the previous post, right? So the clip was one of them. The previous post
Mhm.
was just like, hey, like we're actually doing this pod.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, there's a bunch in here too. Akash says, "Holy unk."
On status.
Raghav Raghav says Unk final level.
Oh my gosh.
Ritik
What's
Ritik
these
said,
three?
dude, Ritik said retirement plan.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Dude,
gosh,
that's so good actually.
I
These are
know.
all so good.
And then Sujit said, so name of the pod is Use Your Head Podcast, right? So Sujit said, looking forward to the head.
Oh my he just thinks of these so like
Which
on
is
fly, bro.
like that's my favorite one by far. That's my favorite one.
I think one of my friends sent me the fact that Sue just said that. Actually, it's the
Mhm,
same person. So we're gonna get our artwork redone for this podcast. My same friend Davina is the one that sent that to me.
mhm.
And dude, that's actually so like such a stupid thing to say. Like, it's just one person that's going to just think of something like that on the fly, Sujit. Like, like that's it, dude.
Dude, shout out Sujit, man. I fucking
Dude,
love that
yeah.
guy. I'm
We'll
so
get him on
glad.
the
Like,
pod
I'm so glad you introduced me to him, dude. I'm
for
so
sure.
glad you got him to like dance with us as well.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah.
he's such an awesome guy, dude. Yeah.
Dude, yeah. I think that for him, like, I mean, he's been one of my closest friends for a very long time. So I think that I mean, for me, like, I'm fortunate to say that like the people I consider like close, right? Like, they're good people. You know what I'm saying? So Switch definitely falls in that category. Like all my hometown friends. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he danced for us. Oh, we'll get him on the pod at some point.
Hmm.
He can talk about that whole thing. But basically, like, long story short, he goes to Ohio State. Um, I asked him, like, he had spring break, and he goes like, I'm just like, you want to dance for us? Can you dance for us? And he was like, yeah, sure. And I was thrown out of the water. Like, I did not expect him to say that because I mean, if you're at spring break, like, I went to Portugal for spring break. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, my other friends went to Miami and Cancun. Like, I know some people went to Dominican Republic, and like he decides to come to Virginia Tech. So like, shout out that guy for doing that. Shout out that guy for taking his spring break to do that. But yeah, no, really good guy. He's back
Hmm.
at school now. So he had a co-op year,
Mm.
and that's so he has to do a fifth year. But so he's completing that now, and I'm hoping for him to be close to home so I can see him more. because it's funny. Every single for 3 years in a row, we saw Sujit at so me, Anakin, and Sahil. We always used to go to um Ohio State, Columbus every Labor Day weekend. And I'm not gonna lie, like those were some of the most fun weekends I've ever had. Just
Mm.
us like going up to like Columbus. Like this past year, we also had our friend Nick Swanson. He's doing his PhD. Nick Swanson's crazy. He's one of the smartest dudes I know. Like he's doing his PhD in math.
Oof.
And yeah, because
Wow.
he completed his undergrad in 2 years, and then he did a master's. I'm saying, dude, I'm saying master's in 2 years. If he ever listens to this, he's gonna get so mad at me for like glazing him. But he did his master's in 2 years to a tech, and then he's doing his PhD now in Waterloo, and he's as old as me. So
Damn.
he's got a lot going on for him. But it was me and a kid Sahil, and then my friend Nick, and then my brother Arian, which I've already mentioned a few times. Like we all went to Columbus to see Sujit. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like so one of the most fun I've ever had. Some of the most fun I've ever had, like in a weekend. But we'll get him on the podcast at some
We
point. I
got
feel
to.
like I think he
Yeah.
listened to the first one. Actually, no, he texted me going like, "It's an hour long, bro. Like, can you just give me a summary?" So I'm just like, "I got you, man. I'll do that." So
Dude, attention spans are cooked, bro. I'm telling you.
I'm
These damn
saying, dude,
apps, nobody wants to
you
watch
know
an
what we
hour
gotta
five.
do? We gotta start putting like when you start posting these TikToks, put a Subway Surfer on the top of it, so
Oh,
they'll pay attention. They'll pay attention to it.
oh my gosh. Put like an episode of Family Guy at the bottom, bro. And like
Yes, yes, bro. Oh my gosh. Like
damn,
a Temple
bro.
Run. Oh my, I remember seeing those on Instagram before I deleted them. I'm just like, this is so sad. Like I feel like this is like it's like going in the opposite direction of like the right thing to do.
Of like
Because I feel like
human
we've always
evolution. No, no,
exactly.
it's not even like forget about like the right thing to do, bro. We're going backwards as far as like our aging
It's
process, as far
so
as like
bad,
development of our brains, dude. Like we're
dude.
actually getting we're cooked. Like
We're
it's
so cooked.
bad.
It's so bad. Like the fact that our attention spans are so short,
Hmm.
like it's so bad. And like they're not even doing anything to make it better. The fact that they're having Subway Surfer just for us to watch a simple like 15-second clip is so
Hmm.
bad, dude. Like
Like who
that's
figured that out? I'm just like I'm
I
trying
don't
to
know.
think about this. Like who posted that first? And who
Yeah,
thought like it was a who thought it was a good idea, number one, but two,
yeah,
who like how did that end up actually like taking off? How did that end up actually being something that like was common, you know?
yeah. I don't
You know how
know.
much like that actually had to do well, you know? That had
I
to
had to
like
do well.
actually cause something for like that had to increase viewership or something for that
Yeah,
to stick, which is
yeah,
insane to think about, you know?
yeah. Because
Ah,
like
jeez.
the amount of like following that you get, the amount of like the viewers that you get too, like it must go crazy. But then again, like you can't. It's I guess it's an original idea, but that's an idea that a lot of people could take because it's not. Like it's not like a personal thing. Like anybody
Hmm.
can use any sort of gameplay. Maybe you know what? They probably had the idea like stemmed from this sort of Twitch streaming, like gaming thing. Because if people like to watch gaming, but at the same time they also like to watch TikToks, they wanted to combine the two.
Hmm.
You know?
Mm.
That's probably my reasoning.
That
I don't
does
know.
make sense. It
It
does
makes
make
sense to
sense.
me, you
Yeah.
know? So
I think
yeah.
and like when you post on TikTok and stuff, you they the way that like you know TikTok and Instagram
Mhm.
these algorithms push content is dependent upon like how long how long someone views your video, you know? So
Mhm.
viewership time. A
Yeah.
lot of the times, like especially with my stuff, like now, a lot of this
Mhm.
like the short films and stuff that I post are longer. They're like a minute or a minute and a half. Some of them are
Okay.
two. I think the last one I posted was two. And honestly, none of my followers watch more than like 14, 15 seconds into the video.
Mhm.
They
You know,
get
I was
bored.
looking at they get what?
They get bored, honestly, is what it
They
is.
get bored.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so
And
sad. But your short films aren't even that long, right?
they're not, I mean, they're short, right? It's in the
They're
name.
short, right? Exactly.
No, but that like the thing is like people so like algorithms and the way that TikTok and Instagram work right now, it's like a lot of the videos that really do well as far as viewership are the ones that are like really quick. And so
Hmm.
you'll, especially in like my lane of like short films and cinematography and everything, the the most common videos we'll see are like it's like very fast paced clip, you know?
Hmm.
And it's like someone is like talking to a camera in this angle for like zero point 0.5 seconds or 1 second, then this
Yeah.
angle, then this angle, then this angle. And it's like,
Hmm.
you know, there's a topic and everything, but it's really fast.
Yeah.
And the whole thing's over in like 15, 16 seconds. And they do that because that's like it has a high audience retention is what it is.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the things that I make are not they're not geared for it, but number two, they don't have that audience retention to it.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking a lot of these videos like that have the subway surface and everything, when somebody is watching this and their mind, you know, because we're cooked, our brains are cooked, they're not watching this, and they're like, oh, like I'm not really, I don't really care about this right now. Like I'm gonna either instead of scrolling, now they have another thing to watch, right?
Yeah.
So it sort of acts as like a fallback method. It acts as like
Yeah.
that safety net for like, if you were watching something and like within 3 or 4 seconds, if you're not stimulated, if you don't care, you would just
Yeah.
scroll and video's gone. But
Yeah.
now, if you're not stimulated by watching the video, there's still something going on to
Hmm.
give you that like mental stimulation.
So for your short films, right, the fact that you choose different angles, is that your kind of way of making it engaging where new sort of angle, new shot, new background, new like, I don't know, outfit or anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that your version of kind of getting these people engaged so they're not, not lacking the interest? Or is it kind of just the way you want it to be? Like, is
I
that your
just
vision?
it's not even like I don't really care about engagement though is the thing, right?
Mhm.
I don't really care about if you're watching it for the entire time. I don't care about the number, right?
Yeah.
The whole point of the short films is to get a message across and show the art form,
Mhm.
because it's cool and I like it by the
Yeah.
end of the day.
Yeah.
And so and that's the difference is what it is. A lot of these other videos that like do it that quickly and do it with those like different angles and there's something happening, right?
Yeah.
They do it to like keep the viewer engaged.
Hmm.
Whereas my viewer engagement comes from like actually caring about the topic that we're discussing
Hmm.
rather than just like having some sort of brain stimulation going on at all points within the video, right?
Hmm.
I hope, and it's honestly it's something that's not really happening because not a lot of people care about the longer
Yeah.
videos that have a lot like an actual message, and not a
Yeah.
lot of people care about like the inherent like skill and effects and the little itty bitty things that like go into making such like a well thought out piece.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Like a lot of people don't care about those sort of things. They just want to be
Mhm.
like they want to see something cool and interesting and
Mhm.
something that happens really quick, and they want to be like mentally stimulated really quick, and it has to happen like really within a very definite period of time before they stop
Yeah.
caring. And
Yeah.
that amount of time, honestly, and that's what we're talking about, right? That amount of time has been going down a lot
Yeah.
with the rise of these short form video like content, so like TikTok, Instagram, all of these,
Mhm.
right? So I think,
So,
yeah, yeah.
no, like, this is kind of off topic, but it's crazy because do you think the idea or concept of a podcast is going to start diminishing because the attention span is not as high? But the other thing is just like, I don't know if you saw, but Spotify gave a deal to Joe Rogan recently for like $100 million, I mean, even more actually. And then
Mm-hmm.
the Kelsey brothers, their podcast, Amazon gave them $100 million. So like, people are like these big companies are throwing a bunch of money into the podcast scene.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like how does that make sense with we're saying that attention spans are getting worse, but podcasts are meant to be long. They're intentionally like pretty like 30 minutes to an hour, maybe sometimes even more, maybe less, but most of them are around that sort of length. So where's the kind of like difference and contrast in that? Or like where's the overlap, I guess?
I think
Uh,
it's the type of content, number one.
Uh-huh.
When you're
Is it the type
looking,
of people?
no, I don't think. Well, I mean, type of content and type of people have a lot of overlap, right?
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Very true.
so one thing I will say is that a lot of these podcasts that are popping up now are getting popular because you see the clips of them on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We posted one clip that was like a minute long, maybe 45 seconds, something like that.
Yeah.
And a podcast in nature is a conversation, and a conversation takes more time. And
Mhm.
we as humans, as people, are used to conversation.
Yeah.
A conversation rather than like a video with a specific topic, or a video with um like a meme or something, right?
Yeah.
Um, takes longer. A conversation takes longer than just a meme you would see on your phone, right?
Yeah.
And so when you're engaging with that different type of content, um, this content inherently takes more time, and the viewer knows that in like implicitly in the back of their head they know that this conversation is going to take more time than seeing some like bum ass meme on their phone, right, which would take
Mhm.
like 2 3 minutes, or
That's
sorry, two
true.
three seconds.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of these podcasts, number one, are successful on these short form video apps like TikTok, like Instagram, because they're posting clips of it, and those clips are very good at
Mhm.
sort of keeping the viewer hostage. And that's a bad way to
Yeah.
describe it, but they're very good at keeping the viewer interested for that longer period of time, and that's why they're getting popular, because now your audience engagement time is a lot longer, right?
Yeah.
Um, because they want to hear what these people say and they want to see the reactions from each one of the individual other
Yeah.
people that are on the podcast. And
Yeah.
speaking and getting this point across takes more time than just like a meme or like one like short like or
Yeah.
like a short films like I make.
Hmm.
Now, that being said, like podcasts in general, these longer ones like on these other apps, and this
Hmm.
goes into like what each app is made for.
Yeah.
Um, you're not gonna watch an hour long podcast on TikTok, are you? Or like on Instagram.
Definitely not. No,
You're
not
not going
that.
to. Exactly.
Yeah.
But you go on YouTube or something where the videos are just longer in general.
Mhm.
Like I would, like I do it all the time.
Yeah.
I'll watch an
And
hour
it's
long
kind of
podcast.
like the way that they would leverage TikTok in trying to engage that audience or like make the audience go like get interested. Like, oh, this clip seems so interesting. Let me
Mm-hmm.
go watch the actual podcast.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
I think I've actually learned a lot. I've learned more about podcasts and certain podcast like episodes and channels or whatever because of those like mediums where whether it be like YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels or I guess TikTok. Even though I don't have like those social medias, but I'm just saying like I think it's a great way to get people engaged and knowing about that sort of thing.
Yeah, and it works like really well because even someone like you who is not super social media,
Hmm.
centric, you're not on a lot of these apps,
Hmm.
you still see it, right? You're still like interested in, like
Yeah.
if you were to go on YouTube Shorts for you, for example, you see a clip of something from a podcast. Oh, I want to check that out, and
Hmm.
you go check it out. You see
Yeah.
how effective that is, even
Yeah.
for someone who isn't on the apps nearly as much as
That's
like
true.
most people.
Hmm.
It works surprisingly well, and people
Yeah.
have figured that out. You know,
I also want to. I don't want to get roasted. I'm not on YouTube Shorts like that, y'all. Like, I promise you, I'm trying to get off of this stuff. Like, I'm not on social media, but I promise you, I'm not like on YouTube Shorts either. Don't get at me for that. Don't get at me.
no one's gonna get at you, dude. everyone's
YouTube Shorts,
everyone.
bro.
If anything, people are trying to be like that, bro. like I be on these apps a lot, dude. I'll be honest, and it's like
No.
I gotta reel it back a little bit.
Mhm.
Like I be on TikTok a lot. I be on not on I don't really touch reels, but I be on TikTok a lot. I be on YouTube a
Mhm.
lot. Um,
I think I've heard a lot of people transitioning from like TikTok to Reels because of the common engagement on Reels. And like I know this because it wasn't too long ago I deleted Instagram, right? So like the comments on Instagram are brutal,
yeah,
but they're so funny sometimes,
they're
dude. They
crazy.
are sometimes just it makes the reel like I've sometimes liked Reels not because of the content, but because the comments are so funny. So if I want to go back to it, I'm just like, dude, the comments are just hilarious on this, bro.
Mhm,
Like
mhm. People have no
it's great.
filter, bro,
No
on
filter,
reels.
bro.
People don't give a
I wonder
fuck, dude.
when
It's
that
crazy.
started. Like I wonder it was not always a thing. It was definitely not always a thing on
No, it
Instagram, but it
wasn't.
just
It
started
wasn't.
out of nowhere. Like,
I
what are we
have no
doing?
clue. I have no explanation for that.
That's
How does
yeah,
that happen?
I have no idea, bro.
oh my gosh. Yeah.
Dude, how long have we been doing this for now? It's been about an hour, right?
Well, let me check. I see. I got a timer this time.
Oh, you got a timer this
Yeah,
time?
we didn't do that last time.
Yeah, because we
so
were because actually we stopped right at 59 minutes 59 seconds, and then I
mhm.
think some of the editing added a little bit more. That was crazy.
we're
Like we stopped right at an hour
yeah,
last time.
and we are right at like 58 right now. So
That is crazy.
yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Dude, I can't wait till I do it again. I guess it's because of the first podcast episodes, but I can't wait till we get into like these, getting into the media and like the kind of news that's happened throughout the week, and then
Mhm.
like these random hypotheticals and stuff. And then I guess we talk about life updates a lot. One life update I have though, it's not super big, like it's not super recent, but for the people that got on me for not having a Costco membership, I have
Mm.
one. I
Hey,
got one. I got a Costco membership. Let's go.
let's
So
go.
I'm
That's
happy about
big.
that. Remember when like my junior year, I kept asking like everybody like, yo, can you like please get me a Kirkland sweater? Can you please get me a Kirkland sweater? And they would never get me one. Well,
Mhm.
guess what? I'm gonna get it myself now, so I don't need you guys
There
anymore.
you go.
But also,
Oh, that's big.
I'm not gonna get clowned on anymore, because I have a Sam's Club. First of all, I still rep Sam's Club, so I'm not gonna ever hate on it. But now that I have a Costco membership, you guys can't hate me anymore.
Mm.
So,
Go get you a
I'm
churro
with
and it'll
you.
all be okay. All right.
Say that again.
Go get you a churro and it'll all be okay.
Oh,
Oh
the
my
churros,
God.
dude.
Wait, they don't even have the churros anymore.
But the thing I've heard the biggest thing about, the most about, is the pizza, the Costco pizza. So I've heard that. We went once to go get some food. It was so me and my friend, like it was a few of us, and then my friend Sabal, he's the one
Mm.
that led the move.
Hey, real quick. Sorry.
know,
Yo,
yeah.
sorry. You just reminded me. He also commented on our post.
Oh, Sabal.
So Sabal says this podcast probably ass. So I
He's gonna
appreciate it,
come on at some
Sabal.
point. You know, once he comes on, he's gonna change his mind and everything, bro.
Yeah.
He's gonna change everything. He's gonna like, I'm gonna make this podcast live, bro. Just watch. This dude is a yapper. Oh my gosh. Anybody that knows him, yapper. I think you met him before, I think
We've
twice or
we've
three
hooped a
times.
lot. Yeah, we've every time I meet him,
Yes, yeah,
he's
yeah,
like always hooping with us and everything. But he's
yeah.
awesome. I love it.
He's a great
He's cool.
dude.
He's cool.
Um, but dude, we were at Costco and then this dude was just not like we all we wanted was one dessert. We wanted to buy dessert and go back home. That should take guess how it should take 5 minutes, right? Not even.
Yeah.
It took like 45 minutes.
Why?
It's because he's the one that led the move because he wanted to get the best dessert. And like I don't eat eggs, so he was trying to be considerate. I'm just like, bro, like you don't have to worry about me. I got food at home. I got desserts at home. Like, don't worry. Like we'll go back to my house. But it took so long, dude. Oh my gosh. But anyway, yeah. But aside from that, we they ended up getting Costco pizza, but I just ate dinner that day. I'm trying to get better at budgeting.
Mm.
So it's because I already had dinner. There was like no point in me spending that money, right? So, but one day I will get Costco pizza.
Go get you
I
that
will get
Costco.
Costco
Yeah,
pizza at some point.
it's life changing. Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
man, I'm actually so mad that they got rid of the churros.
Dude,
You know,
wait. I've heard about the churros.
dude,
I've heard about the churros.
that is one of life's biggest delicacies,
What
and
is
like
it?
you know, it just it just makes you so happy, and it just
The
makes
churros.
you get a churro, and all of a sudden it's like it's just a lot more sunny outside. The birds are chirping, and
The grass is greener.
like life is good, like
You know?
everything all of a sudden like I'm just happy today,
You know?
and they took it away from me and they replaced it with that bum ass chocolate chip cookie, which is still great, don't get me wrong, it's fine.
Wait, they replaced it with that. So they didn't have that before?
No, at least the Costco's that I've been to,
Mm,
they brought a new chocolate chip, and it's a big
okay.
cookie, it's a good cookie, don't get me wrong,
Yeah, the
but
double chunk chocolate cookie.
it ain't no churro, man. It ain't no
Really?
churro. It ain't no
I've heard a
churro.
lot of great things about that cookie though. I will not lie. I've heard a lot of good things about that
It's a
cookie.
great cookie. It's not no churro though. That's all I'm saying.
The sun doesn't shine as bright
It's not,
that day.
it's like my life sucks ever since they took away that churro, man.
Life's
Everything
going
sucks.
downhill. Oh my gosh, dude. Now I gotta now I'm intrigued. I think like you're the first person that's talked about the churro in a very long time. Because I've
Mm.
heard about the churro. Because this is back when I didn't have a Costco membership. And they would just be like, you gotta get the churro, bro. You're missing out if you don't get the churro. I'm just like, man, I love churros. But I also like cookies more. But also I stopped eating eggs. So,
Mm. Is that a
that
recent thing?
it was like it started like about 2 years ago. Because
Okay.
I'm not supposed to be eating eggs anyway. Because like I'm Jane. And I'm not supposed to be eating like onions, garlic, carrot, potatoes, that sort of thing.
Mm.
But I do still eat that stuff every now and then, but I'm trying to get better at it. Actually, this week it's a very special week for us in Jainism. It's called Purjushan.
Mm.
So this week specifically, like every year, I make sure not to eat any of that stuff, like onions, garlic, and also like of course no meat, and then of course no eggs. But I've been off no eggs. I've been on no eggs for about 2 years now. But then nowadays, like like besides if it's not for Purjushan, like I do it every day. But if it's not Purjushan, then I do like 2 times a week, 3 times a week where I have no onion, no garlic, and no potatoes and all that sort of things. I'm pretty sure you've heard about that diet before, right? Like the Jain
Yeah.
diet and stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
so like what it's like everything, nothing from the ground or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Is that
exactly. Like no root
okay?
vegetables and stuff.
Got you.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I've definitely heard of it. It's crazy. Like I've always wondered how. So a lot of these diets, right? And
Mhm.
I think a lot of so I have a bunch of friends who are vegetarian. Obviously, a spring brown. That's like a lot of people. But
True. Yeah.
um, I've always wondered how that affects, I guess, um, like health or weight.
Right. Like
Because
getting the right sort of
like protein specifically.
nutrients,
Yeah. So
right?
what like in that sort of diet, where do you get your protein source from? Is it a lot of like beans and stuff
Good
like that,
question.
or?
Yeah, most of it's beans. Actually, I know like you're not supposed to be eating too much tofu, but I've been budgeting, right?
Mm,
So I got this. I got like so I made this like one thing of like green pepper, or like yellow pepper, I forgot, right? But then like rice, beans, tofu, and then I seasoned it really well, and then some cheese as well. Put it in a tortilla, 7 meals for $20. I made it. And it's like protein heavy, like got my greens in, right? Got my
Yeah,
carbs in with the rice, the tortilla, cheese, like got my fats in. Like it's a pretty balanced meal. Um, but to be fair, like to be honest, it's not extremely easy to get the protein in for sure because I know like the daily amount. So I get like a lot of yogurt too, protein shakes, tofu for sure, soy chunks, all those sort of things. Um, and then like a lot of beans and stuff out of mame, all those sort of things too. Like, it's not super hard or not easy, but it's also like doable. Like if you've been doing it for as long as I have, which is my entire life, it's doable.
I
You know.
got you. Okay.
Also, that one 7 meals for $20, completely Jane too. You know, Jane
Yeah.
and vegetarian. You know, nutrient heavy and budget friendly. You know, so I was pretty proud of myself, and I'm not
That's
gonna lie.
that is hard to do with
I'm
all of them.
saying,
That's
I'm
really
saying.
hard to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And like it could be vegan if you just substitute the vegan or the cheese with like vegan cheese. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then again, I also don't like vegan cheese personally. But
Yeah. I got you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Is that a wrap?
I think that's a wrap. That's a good place
All
to
right.
call it right there.
What's the
Did we use our what was it? Did we use our head today?
yeah, yeah. Do we use our head today? We'll get better at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think yeah, starting next podcast, we're gonna have like guests. We want to have guests from like now through like I guess the rest of these podcasts. So yeah, if you wanna get on, if you wanna hop on, I guess shoot us a text for the people that do know. You
Let us
know,
know. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Sounds good. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
All
Appreciate
right.
you.
Peace. Peace.